you know you want to talk about this: distance, putting a little more power into your game, maybe approaching the green from a closer distance, maybe in general just getting more distance out of all of your clubs. We'll talk a little bit about equipment, how it can help you. We'll also talk about a couple of drills you can do in your swing to give you more club head speed, more ball speed, and more distance. So let's talk about your golf clubs. Can the right club give you more distance? Well, the answer is probably and maybe and probably. And so let's talk about a couple different designs of clubs. So here is a more traditional blade type of a long iron. All right, this is my 5 iron. And actually, the longest iron in my bag is actually a 4 iron. So this is close to my longest club in my bag. This is the club that I got to replace my 3 iron. This is a hybrid club, and it's basically called a hybrid because it's like a hybrid, a combination of wood and of an iron. So this hybrid club that replaces my 3 iron, I hit on average longer than my regular 3 iron. And the reason is that because of the way they designed this club, if I mishit the center of the club face a little bit, I don't lose that much distance. If I flat out miss the ball a little bit, like catch it a little bit thin or a little bit fat, the design of the club helps me lose less distance. So overall, I'm able to hit the ball longer by using these hybrid type of long irons. As a matter of fact, if you are a higher handicapper or more of a beginning golfer, or if you might have a slower swing speed as a golfer, you can actually get a whole set of clubs that in some way resemble these hybrids, and you might want to look into that because that will help to give you more distance. Also, you'll notice this club has got a graphite shaft. The graphite, what's amazing about graphite nowadays is not only is it generally going to be lighter, but the manufacturers are really, really good at changing the way that the club flexes, how much it flexes, how much it weighs to help a player get the optimum distance, the optimum club head speed for their type of swing. So if you're playing with clubs that you really feel are a lot of this stuff going on, a lot of these skinny little clubs going on, a lot of steel shafts, you may want to consider going to a graphite shafted club, more of a hybrid club type of a design, because it's just going to give you on average more distance. Your actual best shot might be just as long with this one, but on average you're going to hit it a lot longer if you've got the right clubs for you, and usually it's going to be that modern design hybrid club graphite shaft. Okay, the driver. Most people are using a driver that does not have enough loft for them. So take a look at the loft on your club. If you are hitting your 8 iron less than 150 yards, you should have a driver that has at least 10.5 degrees of loft on it. We've got to have enough loft to get that ball in the air so that we can get our maximum distance. Once that ball hits the ground, boy, that grass offers a lot more friction than the air does, obviously. So we've got to be able to launch it like a high line drive. The age of your driver is important. If you are using a club that is more than 5 or 6 years old, the manufacturers have just flat out found a way to get more distance. So get yourself a driver that is less than 5 or 6 years old. You can get great deals on clubs that are a year or 2 old. Sometimes they're brand new, and you can get these clubs for as much as 75% off when they were new. So don't sell yourself short by using that old club that has too little loft. Get yourself a newer club with plenty of loft, get that ball in the air. You're going to get a lot more distance through the air than you will on the ground. All right, let's talk about another piece of equipment that may be able to help you out with distance. That's going to be your golf ball. And boy, oh boy, we are in luck, because it seems like these golf ball manufacturers are making these newer balls feel softer, feel better, stop better on the greens, and also fly a lot farther. So you can definitely, the manufacturers say this anyway, you can fine tune your game for the right golf ball. And I've got a couple of different examples here. So right here, I guess it's okay to show the brand and everything. This is the Titleist Pro V1. Okay, we can get a good shot at that. And this is their Pro V1X model. And this ball is designed to have a certain type of an optimized ball flight for a better player or a longer hitter. This ball is a bright colorful ball. It's kind of neat. It's the Volvic golf ball, and this is their crystal design. It's more of a mid-range ball. It's going to be less expensive, and sometimes I'll find balls and I'll play whatever, and I've just found that as far as distance goes, any newer golf ball is going to give you your best distance. And if you're a golfer that's looking to break 100 or break 90, you're probably not consistent enough to really feel you can tell for sure what is the best ball for you. So I don't think it's necessary, and I don't think that people are going to get the most distance going out and spending a ton of money on the Pro V1. I think if you go a step or two beneath this ball, you're going to get all the power this will give you, maybe even a little bit more, because they may be designing it for club head speeds that aren't like a professional golfer. Also, in a lot of cases, these balls that really do fly very well, they feel good too. And there is some value, I know we're talking about distance here, but there is some value in having a consistent feel to your golf ball. So when you're around the greens and you're putting, it feels consistent to you coming off the putter face or coming off the club face. So, luckily, any newer golf ball is going to be really good. I would highly recommend that if you're using a used ball or an older ball, just give it like the eye test, the eyeball test. If it's all brown because it's been sitting in the water for 10 years, maybe use that as a practice ball. Try to use something that looks pretty good, and I think that any newer golf ball will really help give you the most distance you can really expect. All right, we're going to talk about a couple things in your swing you can do, or drills you can do, to actively help you get more club head speed and get more distance. But before we get to that, we have to face reality in some areas. So the golf equipment today, the clubs are actually longer and lighter and more flexible and stronger, meaning the stronger lofts of the irons. So you've got longer, lighter, stronger, more flexible. That sounds like me a few years ago, okay? So we're just maybe not going to be able to generate the speed we did a few years ago. However, if we're more efficient, we might get close. And by the way, if you were really inefficient before, you may be able to get actually a little bit longer. So here are a couple things we want to do. Take a look at as I set up. See how my head is positioned back of the center of my body. So there's a little bit of a tilt to my spine. And this is we call it a secondary spine tilt. But if I was going to say, depending if you ever played baseball before, if I was going to hit a baseball, I would get set with my upper body tilted back a little bit. And what that does is that gets my lever back behind the center point of my body. So when I hit that baseball, I'll be able to move into it and be able to have some rotation that's going to give me more speed at the end of my lever. That's what a baseball player would do. All right? So in golf, it's really very, very similar. So I want to set up with a little bit of a tilt here, and then when I make my backswing, I'm going to maintain it. And now I'm a lot like a baseball player, ready to swing through. However, oftentimes, people in their backswing, instead of turning their shoulders, they slide their hips back. And see what my spine is doing right now? My lever, my source of speed here is not back behind the ball. So my ability to generate club head speed is going to be much more dependent upon my ability to use my wrists. And this is not going to generate the speed that will. So we want to make sure we've got a reasonably good pivot. So here's what I want you to do, and you can do this at home in front of a mirror or in front of a picture window, all right? You're going to take your golf stance. You don't even need a club for it, so we'll get rid of the club. You're going to take your pretend golf stance, you're going to look in the mirror, and you're going to make sure you have this tilt going on. And notice I'm moving my hips towards the target and letting my head come back. My spine is just tilted. I'm going to get my hands out of play by putting them up my shoulders. I'm going to look at myself in the mirror. I'm going to turn my shoulders. As I turn my shoulders, my hips must turn too. Notice that these hips are not sliding back though. I'm turning back, and that's going to enable me to then turn through. This rotation here, this stuff, that's what we want to generate maximum leverage and maximum speed. So practice this in front of the mirror. This is going to give me more distance. Absolutely it will. So get in front of that mirror. You must have the secondary spine tilt and just practice turning back. Notice how now my shoulders are more on top of my back foot. So my weight is more on my back foot now. I did not have to do this stuff, right? I'm gonna turn back, turn through. If I was going to throw a ball sidearm, it would be the same thing, all right? So when you look at a tour player, you're gonna notice they're gonna set up, they're gonna have this tilt to their spine, and then they're gonna turn back here, then they're gonna turn through, all right? That's the pivot. The next drill we're gonna do is we're going to do the whoosh drill, where we're gonna feel and see and hear the speed. And here's how we're gonna do it. Remember, we want rotation from the previous drill, right? So I'm gonna take my driver and hold it upside down in my back hand. For me, a right-handed golfer, my right hand. I'm going to use my left hand and hold my bicep against my rib cage. And then what I'll do is I will turn my shoulders back. If I don't hold my bicep, I might do this. And that's no good, all right? So that's why we're holding this. I'm gonna turn back and turn through. The looser I hold this club, the easier it is to generate speed. All right, now I know you can't really hear this with the microphone we're using, but it's actually louder than you would probably think. Turn, 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 turn. So what I'm doing is I'm generating speed. I can hear by the whoosh, that was not very fast. Hands aren't gonna do it. We need to be able to turn back, turn through. That's gonna actually give us the speed that we want. Our hands are just connecting the lever of our arms to the lever of the golf shaft, all right? Then when we hit our shots, believe it or not, we just wanna practice those drills, swing within ourselves, and do the best we can to hit the center of the club face. Let's give it a try. Not bad. Okay, so I really hope that helps out. Remember, the equipment nowadays, just like I used to be, the equipment it's longer, it's lighter, it's stronger, it's more flexible. So that's never gonna hurt you if you have decent equipment. The golf balls, just get a new ball, you'll be fine. Then as far as the drills go, work that pivot drill in front of a mirror, as well as this one arm drill. The whoosh drill, so you'll be able to actually hear how you're generating that club head speed, because more club head speed combined with center face contact is going to give you more distance, and golf is definitely more fun when you're hitting that ball longer. So did you like the video? I hope so. I hope that these tips are really going to help you put some distance into your game. Let us know in the comments section what you think.